bigcal and welcome to my world. So Nintendo have just released another Pokemon Direct, giving us a better look at the upcoming Sword and Shield games for the Switch. And I am thoroughly excited, more so than before, after the pretty incredible Direct. So I've got a couple of notes written down, well, a couple of pages of notes written down, so I'm just going to go through what we saw and what I thought. So we got to see some new Pokemon outside of the starters that are going to be there. We got Wooloo, who is a sheep, just looks like a fat Mareep, but I'm guessing that this one isn't an electrical sheep. Normal type would be my assumption off the bat, but we never know, whatever, it's just a sheep. Yawn! And then we had Glossifleur. It's a plant type, obviously, and we even got to see the evolved form of that as Eldegoss, I think. Eldegoss, sorry. Yeah, whatever, it's just your basic, it's going to be a grass type, and I'm probably not going to really use that one, although it probably will appear early in the game, so we want to catch early and then get rid of one to find a better one. One of the awesome ones that we got to see was called Dreadnought. And this kind of looks like a Blastoise mixed with like a rock type or something. Looks really cool. So that's definitely going to be one I'm going to be after trying to catch. Hopefully it's relatively early in the game. I don't know. Does it have an evolved form? Looking at it, it does seem like it'd be one of those that doesn't have any forms. Just has the one form. So we'll see. And then we also got to see a new bird called Corviknight. It's a raven. It looks really cool as well, and it looks like it's going to be a dark type, dark flying. That's what it appears to be, and that also looks really cool. Is that going to be one that gets an evolution or not? Is that like the main starter bird that you get early on in the game that has three forms? We don't know yet. It could just be like a one-off, and maybe have one evolution. Well, we're still to see, but it looks really cool. They also showed off something called the Wild Area that takes place in between cities, and this actually really reminds me of Dragon Quest, more specifically Dragon Quest 11 that came out, where you'd have your cities and everything in between, and then you'd leave those and you'd just have these areas that you can explore in a 3D world and wander about, and that's where you encounter enemies and things, and those just connect to the next city or town. And they are very different to what we have seen in like even Sun and Moon, where there were still sort of more linear pathways and roadways. These seem like bigger, wider areas that might even split off to different locations. We've yet to see. So it appears that that's where you encounter Pokemon. Then which Pokemon you encounter there depends on the weather and the location. You got control of your camera now in this location, so it's easy to look around and find things. We saw Pokemon just sort of wandering about in those areas. I don't know if it's going to be a case of, like with Pokemon Go, you see the Pokemon and you go to them to fight them, or if there'll be some that's like that and the rest are still in long grass and things like that. They didn't really explain that, but it looks cool. The big new feature is Dynomax in this game, called Dynomaxing. It's basically like another take on a Mega Evolution, except a Pokemon simply becomes giant, which kind of creepy really when you think about it. I mean, it showed off a Gyarados in that, and Gyarados is already huge and terrifying to begin with. Why would anyone want to increase its size? Insane. But these battles look really fun. They get new better moves when they Dynamax, but it only lasts for 3 turns. And you can only do it once per battle, so you got to try and be a bit strategic with that, especially gym fights and things like that, and battle against other opponents. Then to add to this, there's also something called Max Raid battles, which are multiplayer, up to 4 players, and these take place in the wild areas. Up to 4 players battle against 1 CPU Pokemon. Oops, just kicked my tripod. That'll do. Yeah, so against 1 CPU Pokemon that is always in Dynamax mode. It doesn't go away after just 3 turns. It has some new special powers, be a very difficult opponent, and only 1 out of the 4 people in the multiplayer bit can actually use the Dynomax transformation in each battle with this, so you have to decide who's going to play, who's going to use the Dynomax evolution essentially. And if you beat the Pokemon, you then get the chance to capture it, which is really cool as well. So I don't know if it'll be a case you capture it and it's always in Dynomax mode or not, or if it just goes back to normal. And if it does just go back to normal, does it have your better stats than a normal one you would find in the wild? And they also thankfully told us that yes, there will be online for this, of course. Also wireless, local wireless, that's the word I was looking for. So yes, you don't have to have the internet connection, you don't have to do it just online, you can do it with your friends in the same bloody location. Speaking of location and weather, again affects what type of Pokemon you will get in these max raid battles. So it's nice to see a bit of multiplayer where you're actually teaming up together. I was thinking at first when we saw a bit of multiplayer right at the beginning of the video, maybe there'd be a multiplayer mode and you could play through it with a friend, but it just seems that the max raids for now is a cool concept. We then get introduced to some of the other characters that are in the game. There's a guy called Leon, and he's the champ of the Galar region, so he's the guy that you have to build up to fight. And he's got a younger brother called Hop, who happens to be your rival in the game, so that'll be interesting. Then we've got the Professor Magnolia, and she deals in I already forgot the name of it, Dynomax evolutions, and her granddaughter Sonia is her assistant, and she'll also give you advice on that, you know, the typical stuff. Showed off the gym battles, which do indeed take place in massive stadiums. They've got an audience, they're shown on TV in the Galar region. They're a big event, and of course these stadiums are specifically built around the Dynomax transformation as well, so that'll be cool. And we also saw Milo, he's the grass type leader, probably the first one you encounter in the game. And then we got towards the end of the video, and we got to see the two legendary Pokemon for Sword and Shield, and I burst out laughing at this. So, Zacian, I think it was pronounced, and Zamazenta. Okay, weird names, whatever. One of them is kind of like, you know, the lion thing, the Sungaleo, was it called, from Sony, or the big lion. He's got the other big thing that lions have. I can't remember what it's called. Imagine that, but it's a shield. It's a literal shield. And then the other one has a massive sword in its mouth that it battles with. They're just ridiculous looking. Only Pokemon could do this and get away with it. So yeah, those are the two main legendaries in this game. One has a shield for a face, and the other carries a sword around in its mouth to do battle with. You can't make this stuff up. It's hilarious, but we'll see what they're like during battle. They might, you know, be really good Pokemon. I mean, they're legendary, so they're bound to be pretty good. But the designs are kind of weird and crazy. I'm not entirely sure if I like them or not. You know, it's like, yeah, they're funny, but are they good? So we'll see if I warm up to them. And then the last bit of news I'm so happy about, finally gave us the release date, November 15th, 2019, worldwide release. So yes, coming out on the same day everywhere, and you can also pre-order a double pack if you want. Don't know if that's worldwide or not. I think I was watching the Nintendo of America version of the video. Probably is available worldwide. I already have Sword on pre-order, my friend has Shield on pre-order. Odds are I'm probably not going to pre-order the double pack, you know, so that'll be that. So that was the Pokemon Direct for today. Tons of really good information. We got the legendaries, the release date, some new Pokemon, one of the evolutions, got to see what the gyms are like, we got to learn about the wild areas a little bit, and the multiplayer. So yeah, this game, or both of the games, are really shaping up to be something awesome. I cannot wait for the first true Pokemon game on a console. Even if odds are I'll be playing it in handheld mode most of the time, because I like to lay in bed and play it like that. So those are my thoughts on the Pokemon Direct for today. Absolutely fantastic, loved it all really. We got lots of cool information. So let me know down below what you thought of the Pokemon Direct, if there was anything that really excited you or disappointed you, and if there's something that you really hope to see in the next Pokemon game that hasn't been announced yet. I'm bigcal, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.